Welcome to the five-year BSMS program overview for University of Miami College of Engineering students. I'm glad that you could join me today. Hopefully you had a great weekend and some of you got out to see the Miami Hurricanes win a game during family weekend, or you had an opportunity to see your families during family weekend. What we'd like to talk to you today about is the five-year BSMS program. This is a unique opportunity for all of our undergraduate students to opt into a program so that when they leave us, they'll be leaving with not only their bachelor's degree, which is the first degree, which opens up the door to your career, but also with their master's degree, which ultimately you will need to get a professional licensure, the PE as an example, or to be eligible for a leadership role in companies around the world. Just like any professional program, a bachelor's degree is an entryway portal, and a master's degree really is a ladder to success. So let's talk a little bit more about this program. So the purpose of the five-year BSMS program is, as I said, to provide you with a professional degree in engineering. We offer the five-year Bachelor of Science and Master of Science degree option in the following. In aerospace engineering, students will get their bachelor's degree in aerospace and a master's degree in mechanical engineering. We have BSMS for architectural engineering, biomedical engineering, civil engineering, computer engineering, and electrical engineering. You would get your bachelor's in either computer or electrical. The master's is a joint degree, so you'd have a master's degree in computer and electrical engineering. Environmental engineering is a master's in civil engineering, industrial engineering, as well as mechanical engineering. We do have, if you've been on our website, other master's degree programs. The two that we have are not part of this option, and that is the construction management program and the management of technology program, as those are not programs that come out of a traditional undergraduate degree program within engineering. It's important to remember that when you go into this program, if you do opt into it, both the BS and the MS degree are awarded at the same time, which is at the completion of your fifth year. So that it's not that you're going to get your BS degree after 4 years, go into this option, and in the fifth year, then get your master's. You get both degrees awarded at the time you complete your fifth year. Once you're admitted into the program and start in the track for the program, you can't convert back into a traditional 4-year degree program. That's why we really want to have conversations with you now as you start considering this program. I'll talk to you about other people that you need to speak to, including your academic advisor. You should be talking to financial aid. You should be talking to your families as well. So it really is something that once you come into it, you really are locked into it. So you need to know that this is the path that you want to do. I should point out, any of you that are in this session that are thinking of going into a PhD program, typically this is not the pathway for a PhD candidate, because this is not a thesis-oriented master's degree. It is a non-thesis-oriented master's. And so anybody going into a PhD program really would want to have a master's degree with a thesis, and the 5-year BSMS program does not give you that opportunity. So there are going to be a number of people that you should speak to. One of the first people that I would tell you to speak to would be the Office of Financial Assistance Services to discuss what your options would be for when you become a full-time graduate student. You currently know what your financial aid package is, and it probably will not change significantly as you complete your degree, going through the final semesters of your undergraduate degree, but it does change. Once you become a full-time undergraduate student, your undergraduate financial aid package, whether it be merit scholarship, Bright Futures if you're a Florida resident, if you've used all of your credits, as well as need-based financial aid or work-study programs, do change once you become a graduate student. So it's important that you try to meet with the Office of Financial Assistance Services to talk to them that you're thinking about doing this program. I will be taking questions later on at the end of the program, or you'll be able to put questions in the question and answer box, and I will get to them at the end of the presentation. So what steps to apply? The first step is really to start having this conversation with your academic advisor. So any of you that are currently in senior year, you're really out of sequence already. So this is really designed for those of you that are in junior year, getting ready to go into senior year. As you get ready to go into academic advising later on this semester and start registering for your second semester in January, you want to start talking to your academic advisor about what it would look like so that they could tell you, basically doing an audit. These are the courses that you've completed towards your bachelor's degree. These are the courses that are required still to complete your bachelor's degree. And if you do the 5-year program, how do we make some changes in the curriculum plans that you typically see in the bulletin or you've received from your academic advisor? How do we make adjustments in them? Because we can make adjustments for the 5-year BSMS student. Students going into the 5-year BSMS program, senior year would be able to be changed with proper planning, which is why you need to speak to your academic advisor, so that you can take advantage of the program, allowing you to take graduate coursework while still remaining as a full-time undergraduate student. Now, students always ask me, when do I need to complete the application? The application really should be completed in your first semester. So if you're a junior sitting in this session, it really should be completed this semester, because you need to be admitted prior to being advised for your first semester of senior year. So the deadlines, if you went out to the application, would show that anybody starting as a graduate student, the deadline is November 1st for spring of 22 and March 1st for fall of 22. But if you're thinking of doing graduate programs beginning in spring of 22, you really should have that application. I've already done that. And those of you that are thinking of going into the BSMS program, you would have your application completed in my office, typically by January, so that as you get ready for academic advising later on in that semester, you already know your admissions decision so that those changes can take place. Now, the application does require you to go through a formal application because you're applying just like any other graduate student would to the University of Miami. It does ask you general information about who you are, where you live, what level you're at. We will pull your transcript for you, so you don't need to do that. But you do need to get 3 letters of recommendation. So basically, you're going to need to have conversations with the people that will be your recommenders. We typically suggest that you have 2 of the 3 academic recommendations come from somebody that's taught you traditionally within your department. And the 3rd recommendation can come from another faculty member outside of your department, or somebody perhaps you've done research with or an internship with, or somebody else that can give us an insight in terms of what your capabilities are when you're outside of the classroom. And as I've mentioned many times already, we want to make sure that this is all done well in advance so that you have that application completed, admitted, and ready for your registration process with your academic advisor as you start your senior year. This year, we're in transition with our applications. So if you went out to the website, you will see that there are 2 different application portals that we're using for this academic year. So anybody that is looking, that's going to be a senior in January of 22, you would be using what's called the Engineering CAS application. And again, I've left the website on there. This information is also on the College of Engineering webpage. The application is the same requirements in terms of what you need to submit. It's just a different portal. For those of you that would be applying for getting considered for starting the 5-year BSMS program in fall of 2022 as a senior, you'll be using what's called CollegeNet. And again, there's a separate link on the 5-year BSMS page that allows you to submit either for spring of 22 or fall of 22. But again, it's the same items regardless of which portal. Who you are, where you are, we will pull your academic transcript. You still need to do 3 letters of recommendation. There's also a statement of purpose about why you want to do a master's degree, about 250 words. But there are some other items on the application. So to be considered for this program, typically students would need to have a GPA, cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher. So we will pull your transcript, we'll look at that. So that will get you general admission for review into the 5-year program. For all of our MS programs, including for the 5-year BSMS program, the GRE is no longer required for admission. So you do not need to take the GRE in order to be admitted into the program. It will not do anything at all because we will not review it. And as I mentioned before, the 3 letters of recommendation. When you are admitted, you are going to get an admission letter that will indicate that you've been admitted into the 5-year program. And there are going to be a series of signatures that are on that letter for you to accept that offer of admission. You will have to sign it. Your academic advisor will have to sign it, and Dr. Ram will also sign it. The reason Dr. Ram is involved in the process is because he will recertify that you are in track so that we can make sure that the end of the 5-year programs with the plan that your academic advisor has created, that you're going to get both your bachelor's and master's degree. Our responsibility is to make sure that you get your degree, and we want to make sure that you know the plan completely. So Dr. Ram is there as a second check to make sure that the plan would be in place so that you could graduate in time at the end of the 5th year and receive both of your degrees. So again, that letter comes out. Again, you need to have it not only applied and being admitted, you also need to submit that form back to us because there are some changes that have to take place on my side in the admissions office that would allow your academic advisor to do not only advising, but also when you go to pre-register for the semester beginning your senior year, that you're also able to take graduate courses. There are an opportunity for you to take these graduate courses, and that's what makes this program so special. Typically, it would take you 6 years to get both your bachelor's and master's. This program allows you to complete it in 5 years. So once you are in senior year, you will need to take 12 credits, just like you would in any other semester, in order to remain a full-time undergraduate student. That would allow you to use your undergraduate financial aid. There would be no change in the cost of how you pay for your credits. There would be no change in terms of what financial aid you have available for your credits that apply for your undergraduate degree, as well as your graduate degree. The program allows you to take up to 12 of the 30 credits towards your master's degree in your senior year. So that gives you basically an opportunity to use all of that financial aid that you may have as an undergraduate student. So you'd be taking 12 credits of undergraduate coursework that applies towards your bachelor's degree. And with proper planning, you could take a total of 6 credits in each of the 2 semesters of your senior year. So you'd be 12 undergraduate and 6 graduate, a total of 18 in both your fall and your spring semester, or your spring and fall semester, depending upon when your cycle is when you came into the College of Engineering as a student. One of the major differences is how the sequence for your senior design project is done. So that's one of the changes that the academic advisor needs to have that conversation with you and look at the totality of your degree, because there are differences between programs and between departments in terms of what that senior design looks like if you're in a traditional 4-year program or you're in the 5-year BSMS program. Once you hit the end of the credits required for your bachelor's degree, even though it might be in the middle of your senior year, you would then convert into a full-time graduate student. That's why the advisors want to work with you to make sure that you do stay within that full-time undergraduate process so that you can take up to 12 credits per 2 semesters towards the master's degree. So some students, they may be ahead in their sequence for their undergraduate degree. Many of those students may choose to pick up a second minor or to take some elective courses so that they can remain within their undergraduate studies to take advantage of it. Again, you must take 6 credits. Once you become into that process, your undergraduate credits are automatically approved. There is an extra step for the university for you to be able to take those courses as a graduate student. And there's a form called Application for Undergraduate to Take Graduate Courses. So when you go through academic advising, they're going to line you up to take all of your courses. Again, hopefully it's the 12 undergraduate and 6 graduate. But for those 2 courses, the 6 credits, you will need to fill out a form that looks like this, that's available online. That will indicate which courses you're taking as a graduate student. The financial aid office will sign off on it. Somebody within your department will sign off it, traditionally the chair. This would be either Dr. Ram or Dr. Urel, and then the graduate school signs off on it. That way, the courses, when they go into your transcript through K-Link, they're not being coded as an undergraduate course, they are being coded as a graduate course so that they will apply appropriately as a graduate student. Once you become a graduate student at the end of that 4th year and you move into graduate status in your 5th year, you no longer need to take 12 credits. You're then taking 9 credits to be a full-time graduate student. Again, we also want to make sure that you're not taking undergraduate courses during your graduate year, because the difference between undergraduate studies and graduate studies is undergraduate studies, you pay a lump sum for the credits that you can take up to a certain point. The way that you do it as a graduate student, you pay on a per credit basis. And currently, the cost per credit for graduate courses for this semester, this academic year actually, is $2,213 per credit. So you basically, that's why you want to take 12 of the 30 credits so that you only have 18 credits, which is 2 semesters. So it would be 18 credits times $2,213 per credit hour. Traditionally, we do offer some level of financial assistance to students that are in their 5th year. But you would not be notified of what type of financial assistance you potentially could get until you actually are getting ready to start your 5th year. Why? Because you're being admitted as an undergraduate student, but you're being considered for merit scholarships in the form of tuition waivers, along with everybody else who is applying as a graduate student into our traditional MS programs. So as you get ready to transition, so let's say you're starting in the fall semester, you will have taken courses in the fall and the spring as an undergraduate student towards the graduate degree program. And in the spring, when we notify all of our MS students about admission and what type of funding they may receive, you'll get a second letter which will finalize your admission into the master's program. And if you're eligible based upon your grade point average then of not just 3 years of coursework if you started as a 1st-year student, we will be taking into consideration the courses and your grades from your 4th year. Again, a reminder that you want to make sure that you're working with the advisors so that you don't have to take any undergraduate courses. Again, student status, once these changes take place, it changes a lot of things. That's another reason why to talk to financial aid, because some of you may have received some sort of loan that is unsubsidized, which means that once you change from undergraduate status to graduate status, it does affect loan repayments. And so you want to work with the Office of Financial Aid about how you might be able to adjust that. All the information that I've covered is actually on the College of Engineering webpage. So if you were to go to coe.miami.edu and then go under academics, you would go under the BS, under MS programs. This is the actual link for it. This page would come up and it covers all the information that I have. And this session that I'm recording, as well as the PowerPoint, will be available to everybody in a couple of days once we get it back from Zoom and we've cleaned it up for posting for all of you. So at this point, I'm going to open it up for questions and answers. I'm going to go start with the questions that came in the chat box. Will this recording be available because I have to leave the class soon? The answer is yes. Are you allowed to take credits towards your minor in the 5th year? So the answer is yes, you can take credits in your 5th year towards your minor. The difference is, though, you are going to be charged at the graduate tuition rate. So there is a difference in terms of how those credits you're taking towards a minor, how you have to pay for them, and what type of financial aid would be available for them. But the answer is yes, you can do that. Another question just came into the box. Is it possible to take more graduate credits your senior year? Now, you're only eligible, looks like I'm frozen. So I'm going to, can somebody tell me if I'm frozen or not?
I can hear you. You're fine.
But my picture is frozen?
No, your picture isn't frozen.
It's only frozen for me. Okay. So the answer to that is no, you can only take a maximum of 12 credits in your senior year. In that particular case, you would only be able to take just 12 credits in your senior year in order to do that. Okay, that's it. Just to clarify, you need to apply during your first semester junior year. Yes, we highly encourage you to apply during your first semester of junior year so that you have time to get your application completed, as well as your letters of recommendation. Now, we will probably not review your application until January if you are currently a junior, because again, we want to make sure that you have your admission letter as you get ready to get pre-registered for your senior year. So if you're not going to do it between now and December, I highly encourage you to do it in December so that you're ready for them. Other questions? Could somebody also let me know, can you hear me still? I guess you can still at least see me. How many applicants are accepted each year? That's a very good question. Typically, all students who apply who have a 3.0 or higher, unless there were some issues throughout your academic years as an undergraduate student, would be admitted. So there isn't a limit on the number of our students. We want to give you that opportunity, which is why this program was designed. But basically, we are looking at a 3.0 or higher for you to be admitted into the program. And that includes not just engineering courses, it is your cumulative grade point average throughout your academic year. Other questions? If there isn't any more questions, I will stop the presentation. I'm going to stop recording at this point. Ken? It looks as though my computer is frozen. So before I get off, are there any additional questions? If you have questions, please email us at coe@miami.edu, and we will be able to get back to you with any questions that you have about the 5-year BSMS program. Thank you all for joining me for this. Hopefully you found this information helpful. As I said, it will go out on the web after this session, as long as the Zoom link does come back up, because as I said, I'm having technical difficulties on my end. Thanks everybody for joining, and have a great afternoon. Take care now. Bye-bye.